Hi, this is Paramita, Salesforce developer again. So today I am going to start developing this Omni script as I have discussed. And in my last video, I have already discussed the use case, and also I have shared with you the data model which I have already created. So just this is a small recap. So if you haven't done this, please do this. I have created these two custom object, rooms and bookings, and I have used the account standard object. I am using here a health cloud trial org, so that's why the person account is activated here. But if you are using any other any other org where Omni Studio is enabled, that's perfectly all right. It shouldn't be a problem. Now here you can see I have created uh, some custom field in rooms, like rent per day, uh, room type here, like type is a pick list field, like whether economy, standard or luxury, like that. The values, and then is available is a boolean type which saves like true false values. Okay, whether the room is available or not, because on that basis I'm going to do some filter, and some more custom fields in booking subject also you can see here, like um, start date, end date, number of days. Okay, and some lookup field I have created, because you can see here like rooms has a one-to-many relationship with bookings, and account also has a one-to-many relationship with bookings. So one lookup field for account, this is account ID, and one lookup field, this one rooms for uh, rooms. Okay, which for rooms object. Okay, so these are the things, and if you haven't watched my previous video, you can watch that. There I have discussed like more I have explained these things like more. So and so so first I will start creating this one. This is already I have created. Okay, before starting I will just quickly show you again like what I have created. I have already shown in my last video, but still it's a quick recap that what we are going to do. I have created that Omni script along with all data mapper and integration procedures, whatever needed for that, and I installed that in this org. Okay, so what I have done, I have created one custom button here, book the room. If I click it, the Omni script will be launched. Okay, so this is the use case was like this is like booking a room in a motel app. Okay, so this is a functionality which will be used to book the room in the motel. So now the customer will call and the representative will take the information from him or her. So start date, there is some validations and stuff. That's what we are going to do today. Like we'll create only script and we'll just see how to do the validation and stuff. We'll use some formula and messaging components. So, and also like see, it will take 2 days or any day after today. Okay, for a start date, it will not take any before date. Okay, if we today is 28th, if we select 26th or something, it will not take. So it's already taken today's date, or it will take other date also. Okay, so it will not take any date before today as a start date. Now similarly, end date, it shouldn't be before start date. Okay, like if I select 26, I will get an error message. Okay, so these are the functionalities we are going to build up today. So I will take a day after today, like 31st. Now it's working properly. It will also calculate the duration, like for how many days we are going to book. Then next, so after putting the date and everything, it will show me the available rooms. Okay, now one more thing I want to mention, there are some more rooms which are not available. Okay, well, you can remember that I created one field in the rooms object called is available. Okay, that's a boolean field, it will be true or false. So wherever that availability is true, those rooms only will be coming here in this available rooms list. Okay, and then you can select the room, and whatever room you select, after that we will put the customer's name. We will take customers details from customers, and we'll put the name, suppose Lex 34, last name Luther, telephone, then next. So now it's showing the booking details, like details of rooms, what type of room, rent per day, etc., duration, customers details, everything. Till now it's not, the booking is done, it's like booking details, what we're going to book. Once we click here, now we'll get the confirmation. So booking confirmation, your booking has been confirmed, booking ID, booking details. So here what's happening, once the booking confirmed, that means it has created the account record and one new booking record. Okay, so I created one object called booking. So if you see, so rooms bookings. Okay, so it will create a new record in the bookings and in another record in the account. Okay, so that's all the functionality we are going to create using the OmniScript, data mapper, and integration procedure. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so I am already in Omni Studio and I want to open Omni Studio OmniScripts. Okay, now here I am going to create a new OmniScript. I'll click on new, give it a name. I'll give it a name OS Motel Booking app. Okay, OS Motel Booking. Now type and subtype. Type and subtype is very important because the unique combination of type and subtype actually is used uh, to refer to an OmniScript. Okay, so the type here I will give motel, and subtype I will give room booking, something like this. Okay, give some meaningful name. Now save. So this is my new OmniScript. Okay, now while I will develop these things, I will also discuss about the OmniScript little bit. So as I have already mentioned before that, like FlexCard and OmniScript, they are like from, they are used for like front-end development. Okay, it's like which normally we do in Salesforce using LWC, HTML, CSS, all those stuff. So those things we will be able to do using OmniScript and FlexCard. But when we need to get the data, like to derive the data or to create record or something, that time we are going to use other backend stuff like data map or integration procedure, those stuff. Now this is the new OmniScript screen you can see. So in the left hand side, you can see the elements, the group elements like action block, edit block, only block, radio block, step, type ahead block, etc. So maybe in this project I'm going to use only edit block, but in future we will do more where we are going to use type ahead block and other block as well. Okay, so so from the name you can understand group. So basically these blocks are used where inside those blocks we'll use other element. Okay, so similarly step is a group as well. You can see it's a group element. In the beginning only the step is already here one. Now step is sort of like if you have done screen flow, it's sort of like screen. Okay, so step is a group element as well. Within that we are going to put other elements. Okay, like like in our app which already I created before, what you can see in the first screen, we have put some start date, end date, these are the fields. Okay, so we are going to put all those things in this step. So yeah, so just quickly, like after group element you can see there are data mapper actions. Okay, these are actions which will be used for deriving data or uh, creating data, updating data, for all those stuff. Okay, when I do data mapper I will discuss it more. Now we are going to put some field like start date, end date. So from the name you can understand, I hope you know what is the data type for any field. So start date means what? It should be date type field, isn't it? So you can see there are a lot of input fields like checkbox. Checkbox means like boolean, true false, that time we'll use checkbox. Currency, like this. So these are like data type for input field. Now for start date I will take a date type field. Okay, so here see date, I will drag and drop here. Yeah, so this is date. Now start date and end date. For end date also I will take another date type field. Now you can drag and drop again here, or the easier way is that you can see there is a plus button here. Okay, just click on that, it will clone. So same type of field. Now I am going to select the first one, and the first one I will give it a name. Now name here is like API name. Okay, so whenever we will do some calculations or anything for this field, we're going to use this API name. So, and it has to be unique. Okay, in the same application we cannot have the same API name for many fields. Okay, so I will give it a name, start date, like this. Now field label. Field label is like what you can see on the screen. See, after putting the label, you can see in the screen here, this one. Now the label, I want to make it a little bit better. I will give it a space. See, here you can see space. So in the label, whatever you are going to put, that will be shown on the screen. Okay. And in the name, whatever you put, that is the API name. So whatever calculation we will do in future in the node and everything, uh, you have to use this API name. Okay, start date, not this label. Okay, so this thing should be clear. And then now this field I want to be required. Okay, so I'll click here. Now you see, if you are from background like programming background, you know, like when like in HTML we have something property called required. We use this when we do the coding and stuff. So that thing you just tick here, it will be required. Okay, we don't have to do a lot of coding. Then we don't need default value. Start date, end date. What is this thing? Start date, end date means these are like the value, like start date is a date field. Like we can restrict like the field, like suppose it should not be before today. Okay, like start date means minimum starting date, end date means up to that date. Suppose the date should be within 10 days from today, after 10 days of today. Okay, something like this. If we want to do, then we will mention in the end date. Okay, so what should be there? Suppose the start date should be within 10 days from today. Okay, so in that case, in the end date we can mention a function like today's date plus today plus 10. Okay, but I'm not going to anything like this. End date I will keep it indefinite, they can book, it's up to them which date. But start date I want to keep it today. Today is a function in Salesforce, you know. So that means the start date should be minimum today. So it should not accept any date before today. Because just suppose one person, if he wants to book a motel, if he call me today, he cannot book for yesterday, no? Because yesterday is already gone. So that's why I want to keep the minimum date today. Okay, now end date also you can give the restriction, but right now I'm not giving any restriction. Okay, the normal Salesforce function we can use here. So the start date we gave, and then what else we want? Date display format. If you want to change the display format, you can, but I'll keep it as it is. And advanced options. I don't need any advanced options. You can play around with these things. Okay, you can change and you can play that what's going to happen. So start date is okay. I'm happy with that. Now this is end date. So end date, I will give it an API name. End it. Okay, now label again, I will give it a gap. See, here you can see the gap. This is also required. Now for end date, the start date, okay, for the end date the start date should not be less than today actually. Okay, so How can I do that? Should not be less than today. Can I do that here? Mm, yes, we can. Actually, we don't need to use any formula or validation for this. The start date we can do just today. Because see, the end date also should be uh, today or after today, isn't it? So we can put the start date like this as well. Now, so required, what else we want? Nothing else, okay? So done. So what I'm going to see now, I will preview this, okay? So whatever we have done so far, in OmniScript, it gets saved automatically. We don't have to click the save button, okay? And it's not activated yet. If we want to activate, we have to click activate. But once it's activated, we will not be able to do any edit. So we will not activate now. After doing everything, after testing everything, when we are ready to launch in the org, that time we will activate, okay? So I will preview. In the top right corner, you can see the preview button. Click it. Now once you click, you see what you can see. You can see this two field, okay? Start date, end date, okay? We can see the label as expected, and in the right hand side you can see the data JSON, okay? So and then you can see action debugger, okay? So this is basically whatever you are doing, you will see it will populate here, okay? So you will be able to see the how it's giving the result. You can see straight away. You don't have to do like inspect or anything, okay? So your Omni Studio screen will show you everything, what value you are entering, like what input, what output you are getting, everything you'll be able to see here. And similarly in action debugger also, we will do a lot of debugging and stuff. Once we start doing this, gradually I will show you those things, okay? So that's the beauty of Omni Studio. I will say, like straight away we can see what's we are like what we are passing input, we are getting output, everything. One thing is that only you need to understand the JSON, okay? And JSON is not a very difficult thing. I think anyone who has some programming knowledge, they can understand JSON, okay? So you have to understand this key value pair thing, okay? So now this is some like data JSON is coming from the you can see it's like some system informations about this Omni script, okay? Don't need to worry so much at this stage for this, okay? So now the start date, how it's working. As I said that we mentioned today's date as a minimum date. See, it's highlighting today's date. Now if I select any day before today, suppose today is 28th, if I select 26th, it's not taking, it's just saying start date is required, so it's just treating it as empty, okay? It's not taking the date. But if I say today's date, it's taking. Or if I say any day after today, it's taking properly, okay? So now I'll say today's date. Now end date, suppose end date, if I choose a day before today, it's not accepting. Why? Because I have already mentioned minimum date today, okay? So that is fine. But what about, okay, so what about if I select today's date? Today's date it's accepting, okay? So that's fine. And what about if I take any date after today? That's also accepting. But what about start date if I put not today's date? Suppose I want to book from 31st, okay? From 31st. Now end date, suppose by mistake I put 29. It's taking, because in end date what happened, I have mentioned today's date as a minimum date, but I haven't mentioned anything like this that end date should not be before start date, okay? End date should be actually start date or after start date, because no one can start in a date which is after end date, okay? So end date should be greater than start date. Start date shouldn't be greater than end date, okay? So what to do then? So that means we have to put some more restrictions. And also we are going to uh, show a message like if for some reason by mistake we select an end date which is less than the start date, it will give an error message that end date must be on start date or after start date. Okay, so how we can achieve that? So all these are actually part of like how we can validate, how we do the validation of the field on the Omni script, like we do in normal website also. If you do like, we use normally JavaScript and sometimes HTML also, like require thing we use in HTML, and sometimes actually most of the time for more security we use on a website we use validation like in each and every level, like in HTML level also, then in JavaScript level, and also in the backend level. Suppose in backend, if we are using PHP or some other server-side script, whatever you use, so in backend also we can do some validation. Okay, so we have to use a lot of coding for that, but here in Omni Studio we can do that using these drag and drop tools. Okay, so how we can achieve that validation here for the end date? So we are going to use a formula for that. Okay, so I will take a formula element. So what I did, I just typed formula in the quick find box here. See, the formula came. Okay, so formula is basically a function element, so I will add here. Now I don't want the formula to be on top of end date, so what I'm going to do, I just drag and drop. So all these things, you know, you will get habituated once you start doing hands-on. Yeah, so I want the formula to be under the start date and end date. One more thing what I want to do, sorry I forgot, I'll just restructure it a little bit. I don't want them to be the whole screen, so just by drag and drop you can size and resize them. Sometimes if something, suppose some design you want to achieve, you cannot achieve by drag and drop like this, you can use custom CSS also. Okay, so in future I'll make some videos where I will use custom CSS and stuff. So now here I'll just keep it as it is, start date, end date, and formula. Now the formula field, also give it a name, so I will give it a name end date validation, something like that. Okay, so end date validation, I'll give it a label. Now I will keep it as hide. I don't want to show that label on the front end. Okay, so I'll just do it hide. And now we have to do the formula. What formula we want to do? Now this is again just like a normal Salesforce formula you can use, but the field when we use as a merge field. Okay, now see, you will get even the option also. So start date, so my formula will be if start date greater than end date. You can copy paste actually. I'll give it a little bit gap, it will do. Yeah, so if start date greater than end date, then false, otherwise true. Okay, so that is my formula. Yeah, see, the if your formula is not correct, you will get the some red message here. Okay, so if start date greater than end date, then false, otherwise true. Now if it returns true, then I want to show a message. Okay, so if it returns true means if the start date is greater than end date, because my purpose of validation of end date field is that end date shouldn't be greater than start date. Okay, so if the result here comes true, then only I'll show my message, error message. Okay, now I will save. So to show the message, I will take one message element. Message. Now we can use set error element also, but I am doing it differently. I'm using formula and message. Now I don't want it to be like this. I want it to be down. Yeah. So the message, I'll do the message the whole width, and I will give it a name. I'll give it a name in date error, something like this. Okay, so name and label. Then I'll click like hide label. By default it's hide label. I'll keep it as it is. Okay, that means I don't want to show it without any error message, the label and stuff. Okay, we don't need to do this. If the error comes, then only we'll show the message. Now show message, how you want to show, inline or toast. I'll keep it is inline. It's up to you what you want to do. Now success, I don't have success message, the message like false. Now here one thing that you should understand, this is false message, but the formula which we have used here, if the result of this formula is true, then only this message will be shown. Okay, so it's a little bit tricky to understand. So for that, we are not giving the success message, we're giving the false message. Okay, so suppose we gave that message like this: end date must be after or on start date. Okay, in fact we will write like this: end date must be on or after start date. Okay, so this is the so here it's a little bit tricky, like this is a false message, but we are getting the result as true from the formula. Okay, so these things you just do it and then preview and then test. Okay, that's how you will be able to understand more. Now validate expression. So the validate expression I have to write here. So for that, what I have to do, the formula field, what's the API name? End date validation. So whatever the formula is returning, if that value, yeah, see, you will get the option here, end date validation. Okay, equal to true. I wrote there all small. Remember, if I have written the formula with true T small, please make sure you are writing the same true. If you write T caps, you will not get the result as expected. Like we go to the formula, see, I have written T small. So here also in the message component, in the validation expression, I wrote T small. Okay, be very careful about that. If you write T capital here, it will not give the result. Now we'll do preview. Now I'll write start date today. See, one thing notice, like when I am putting the date, like the input value in the right hand side in the data JSON, you can see all the values. See, step one. So step one, within step one, we can see end date validation, end date error, etc. So right now already validation is true by default, error is true. Like these are by default value. But once you will do something like, okay, so start date, I will take suppose 31st. Okay, today is 28th. So start date 31st. Now if I take a date after 31st, it's fine. Okay, it's taking. But if I select a date before start date of 31st, suppose this is January, today 28. I put 30. See, we got the error message. End date must be on or after state date. So that's what we wanted to achieve. Okay, using this formula and messaging elements, formula, function element and messaging element. So now you learn like how to validate some field. Okay, so this was date fields we did like this. Similarly, we will be able to achieve all the validations for other type of input field also, like if it's a string input, like if it's a number input field or some other kind of input field. But an idea at least that what we do in OmniScript and how we can use the step and within step and different kind of input field and their validation, all this stuff, and also how we can preview. Now when we are previewing, if you see in the right hand side, you can see like sort of output. Okay, so see here, you can see all these JSON outputs are coming. Now these JSONs we got to understand. So when like after this, suppose I will create another screen, there will come quite a few screen. So that time we have to manipulate how the data is passing from one screen to other. Mainly like right now what I'm going to do after this screen, what will happen, if you can remember, uh, once I get an once I click the next button, it should show the available rooms. Okay, depending on the availability. So now for that, if we go to the rooms object, I'll show you. Sorry, before starting, I wanted to tell you, in the rooms object, I have added some records first. Okay, what I have done, I have created some records, like in the you can create it manually also. Just click on the new and you can do this. But what I did, I no, I think probably will not be able to create manually here because there are some restrictions. So what, I don't know, it's maybe because of my org. So what I did, I added some record in the Google Sheet. Okay, in the Google Sheet spreadsheet, and then I downloaded it as a CSV file, and I used the input wizard to import the data. So I created how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so six records, like 6 rooms, out of which one was not available. Like, see, is available, true, but one record is there, not available. I think which one, I can't remember. Um, is available? Yeah. See, one record is not available. So that means in the next screen, when I will get all the rooms, I will not get these records. Okay. So this room will not come up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 rooms are here, out of which 5 are available. So that means when I will go to the next screen, 5 record should be shown on the next screen. Okay. So for that, what I'm going to do first, I will add another step element here. Okay. So now if I go back, I'll be able to see a next button there. Okay. So once you add next screen, automatically this step will have a next button. Okay. You don't have to create or anything these buttons. This save for letter also is here. If you don't want this, you just can untick that save for letter in the step. In the step there is a, like, you can choose whether you want this save for all button or not. See, if you untick it, save for all, it's gone now. Okay, but I'll keep it now for the time being. Now the step one, I didn't give it any name. It always give some meaningful name, otherwise you will be lost. I will give it a API name for step one, booking. Okay, I'll give it a name, booking dates, because in this I am showing, like mostly the booking dates. So booking dates and field level I will keep it same. Okay. So I gave a name of this step, and second step, what I'm going to do, I will give it a name, available rooms. Okay. So available rooms. Yeah. So this is the API name and this is the label. So here basically I am going to show all the rooms available. So to do that, what I have to do, I have to derive the data from the Salesforce org. Okay. So I have to derive the data from which object? Rooms object. Okay. All the available rooms. So for that, what I can do, I can use directly data mapper. Like here, I want to show you in the left hand side, you can see there are 4 data mapper action in the Omni script. What are the data mapper action? That means whenever we want to use the data mapper in the Omni script, we can add this data mapper. Okay. Data mapper extract action we will use when we will use data mapper extract. When we will use data mapper turbo, then that time we will use data mapper turbo action. When we will use data, like when we want to create record or something, create or update, that means saving some record in the Salesforce org, that time we can use data mapper post action. And if we need to transform something, we will use data mapper transform. Now I will not use directly data mapper here. I am going to use first integration procedure. Now what integration procedure does, why we it's a good practice to use integration procedure, because within one integration procedure we can add like multiple action. Maybe sometimes we need more than one data mapper action. Okay. So in that case, instead of using one data mapper action separately, we can use all the data mapper action within one integration procedure. But depending on the business requirement, there are a lot of other factors also we have to um, keep in consideration. So that's why. And also like it if we use integration procedure, then it also like increase the modularity of our development, so gradually you will understand that. If you haven't understood yet, I assume that you have watched other videos as well which are available, and you have already learned about data mapper and integration procedure. So these are data mapper actions for Omni scripts, and Omni script also have integration procedure actions. See here, within standard actions, you can see so many things: decision matrix, DocuSign, and all those things I'm going to practice one by one. But in this project, we are not going to use all of them, but we are going to use integration procedure. Okay, integration procedure, data mapper, Omni script, they all are like important component, I'll say, of Omnistool. And FlexCard also. For FlexCard, I'll do another project, because if I put everything in one project, it will never end. Okay. So integration procedure action. Now we'll give it a name as well. So what's the purpose of this integration procedure? Deriving available rooms. Okay. So I'll give it a name, IP available rooms. I just give it a different name because I already created some integration procedure of the same name. So IP AVL rooms. Okay. This is API name, and I will give the label also same. Now integration procedure, now here we have to select one integration procedure. If we have already created the integration procedures, then we will select here. But one thing is that you can get it for selection only if the integration procedure has been already activated. Otherwise, you will not get that here. And also another thing is that integration procedures, that name, suppose I have given the name here, name, label, they will not come here. What will come? It will come with the type and subtype. Okay. So that's an important thing. Type and subtype is very important for Omni script also, integration procedures also. Okay. So now you can select, because we don't have the integration procedure now, we are going to create a new one. So what you can do, you can click here and you can start creating one. Okay. So what I this so this is the integration process. So one thing I want to make it clear. So then you say that what is then we have added integration procedure here. If we are creating another integration procedure, yeah, this is very important to understand. This is the integration procedure action within this Omni script. That action is going to call the integration procedure which I'm going to create now. Okay. So in this action, this name, this label is for this action within the Omni script. So this action should be attached to an integration procedure. That's what I'm going to create now. Okay. So new integration procedure, type I will give rooms, subtype booking or booking creation. No, it's not booking creation actually. We are going to get the available room from here. So I will give the name rooms available. Okay. So remember, so type, subtype, rooms available. So this is going to come here actually. So now I'm creating a new integration procedure. So this is the integration procedure screen. Okay. It's quite like Flow. This is the new UI of Omni Studio. And yeah, it's now, it looks now like quite similar with Flow if you see. Now here in the left corner, if you click, you will be able to see all the groups, data mapper action, standard action, just like Omni script screen. If you can remember, the this is the Omni script screen. There is also groups, data mapper actions, standard actions, display functions, all these input elements, all these things. Okay. So similarly, in the integration procedure also, we have first groups, cache block, conditional block, loop block, try catch block, but the name is different and their functionalities are different. If you see cache block, conditional block, loop block, try catch block, these things we use in Apex. We have loop in Apex. We have try catch block, conditional block like if else statement, cache block to keep caching. So all these things are we have in Apex. The same, all those functionalities we can achieve here in integration procedure without writing a single code. Okay. So that's the beauty of Omni Studio. So it basically saves the time for less coding. But you need to understand, okay, what to do. That's why we have to have knowledge of Apex and LWC. Without zero knowledge, I will say it's quite hard. I don't know whether it's possible, but it will be definitely hard if you don't know Apex and LWC. Okay, and SOQL also. But if you know that, it will make your life easier. Now these are groups element. Then data mapper action here also we have like OmniScript is quite similar. That extract, post, transform, turbo, and then standard actions. Quite a few lot of actions are here. Out of those, like I would like to mention like set values list. Probably we are going to use in our project list action set values, and yeah, others we will not use in this project, but we will make other projects for that. Okay. So yeah, so what we are going to now, we are going to use the data mapper action. So what we want to do, we want to derive the data from rooms object. Okay, so we will use data mapper action. So which action we will use? We will use data mapper extract action. Okay, data mapper extract. Now again, remember, this is an action within integration procedure. This is not the exact data mapper. Okay, this is a data mapper extract action within integration procedure, which we will connect with a data mapper. Okay, now I'll give it a name to this action. I'll give DMA, data mapper action, DMA derive, sorry, derive rooms. Okay, so this is the action name. Sorry, Okay, so here we can choose the available data mapper. Okay, but right now I don't have any data mapper. I am going to create a new one. So I can click here, new data mapper. Similarly, like I clicked on the new integration procedure. So here also I clicked on new data mapper. Okay, so please be clear about this action and actual element. Okay, like integration procedure also, we used integration procedure action within the Omni script. Then we connected it to a new integration procedure. Similarly, within this integration procedure, I am using data mapper action, data mapper extract action, and I am going to attach that with a data mapper extract. Now here I have already created one data mapper. I will select that one. That is DM available rooms. Okay. So I'll use this same data mapper which I created. Now, if I go to that data mapper, I can see what I have done here. You can see in the data mapper screen, there is like in the top left corner extract formula mapping, because I have chosen a data mapper extract action, so it's automatically this like so that's why I'm using a data mapper extract action. And if you click on the settings, you can see here the data mapper name, interface type. Like there are four types of data mapper: extract, turbo, post, and transformation. Now because I have chosen data mapper extract action, so that's why I'm using here data mapper extract. Okay, input type JSON, output JSON, that's fine. If you need for any reason, you can change them as well. Okay, but for me it's okay. So that's how you can see the settings and stuff. Now I'll click here and I will see, I'll do edit. Now here extraction object, so from which object I am going to derive the data. So I am going to derive the data from room, so I have selected room here, and extract object path. So extract object path, you can give any name, ABCD, whatever. Okay, here I have given a name available rooms. Try to give a name which like understandable, which relate to the project, that will help you to understand. So I have given a name here available rooms because I am going to derive the available rooms, okay, from this object. And here I have used two filter, like first id not equal to velocity dot null. That means the id will not be null. Okay, the velocity is like a Salesforce provided global variable here. So basically first I wanted to derive all the available rooms, so that's why I used that. But then I thought, no, I will just I will just derive those rooms which are where the id is not empty, of course, and also which are only available, like is available field. If you can remember, I created one custom boolean field in the rooms object. It should be true, that means it should be available. Okay, now how it will be available or not available, how it will be decided, that's out of the scope of this project. That maybe there will be some business requirement, maybe it will be automatically updated or something like that, depending on the booking and stuff. But that is out of the scope of this project. Okay, suppose that value will be there. Okay, either it will be true, either it will be false. So depending on that, it will derive only the um, available rooms. Now go to the preview and click on execute. Yeah, when we are clicking on execute, we are getting this. Okay, so what we are getting, you see how many records we are getting within available rooms. Now can you remember, if you go back, we gave the extract object for available rooms. That means this is the output node, okay, for the JSON. Here you see the output node is available rooms. Okay, so now here if you give it a name, a different name, it will be different. Okay, now another thing, like you have to map the fields, like which fields will get which value. Like here see the field mapping, how it's that. So extract JSON path. So how it works, when you click here, see all the fields available in the rooms objects are coming with the front node like available rooms. Okay, it will automatically come and you can select it from here. Okay, once you type here the fields, you will see here automatically populating, and you just can select like this. Okay, so available rooms ID, this is extract JSON path. So that means ID from the room is coming, and where it will be shown, it will be shown in the this output JSON path is like this. So output JSON path, again you can give any name, okay, but like when it will come, okay, so like this room ID, okay, I wrote, I I actually modified that because I wanted the name to be shown in the front end as room ID, okay. So these things, like you can change as per your requirement, okay. So output path, I gave it like this. Then because output node also I wanted the same available rooms, that's why I have used the same node. In case if you needed different node, you can use, okay. But for the best practice, I will tell you not to change unnecessarily, okay, if you don't need. You see here the extract path, all are like using the API name of the field, but here I used like different, okay. So that is to when in future I'm going to pass the different values and stuff to the Omni script, it will be easier for me. That's why I have done that. So gradually you will understand this. In the beginning, if you are new, I will say just tick whatever I have done, and then gradually you play with this and you will grab like what to do, not to do. Okay. So that's how I learned also, watching and listening to others video, and then going to the documentation, etc. Okay, so more you practice, more it will be clear to you. In the beginning it will take some time. Okay, so you mapped the field here, like ID field I mapped like ID from rooms. Okay, so that I have given a name of room ID, because because in future what's going to happen, we have to use ID from account also, ID of bookings also. If I don't give it a name like room ID, it will be hard to understand. Okay, so I gave the name room ID. Then available rooms, is available rent per day. This is rent per day, and then type of the room. Okay, this is a pick list field, but whatever value will be there, that will come. Okay, so um, so mapping is done like this. Then if we go to preview, we are the how many records we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, can you remember that we had total 6 records there, but out of 6, one record was not available. Is available was false there. So that record we didn't get here, okay, because we have added one filter. What's the filter? We have added one filter. Yeah, one filter called is available equals true. Okay, now I will leave it as it is. So my data mapper is ready, and also you can see that how you are how you can preview the data mapper. Okay, so you can do one thing, you can create the data mapper first like I did here before, and then I can use this data mapper in the data mapper extract action within integration procedure. Okay, now the thing is that you can use the same data mapper for other functionality also. Maybe some other functionality that is going to use this data mapper, it's possible to use that. Okay, so in this way these are quite modular, and if you use like integration procedure, it makes the application more modular. Okay, so I will go back to my integration procedure now. Yeah, so here I have added the data mapper. Now I have to see like if we need to pass any input to that data mapper. Now we don't need to pass any input to this data mapper at this point, because we are just deriving all the data records except which are not available rooms. Okay, so this data mapper is not expecting any input. Otherwise we could pass input like here in this data mapper action using this input parameters, or uh, there are, or using this send JSON path, or using this additional input. Okay, there are 3 ways to pass the input from this action. Now we don't need to pass any input here. So what else we will do here? So after this, now this is integration procedure. We'll save it. Now we don't need to activate now. Without activating, we can go to the preview. If we go to the preview, what's happening here? This integration procedure is also not expecting any input, just like our data mapper. If it was expecting any input, we could pass the input here and we could test, but it's not expecting any input. So we'll just execute and see what happens. Look, so this is the integration procedure. Okay, here we can debug for integration procedure. It's so nice, isn't it? We don't need to do inspector or nothing. Now click here. We can see first of all it's take green. So that means this data mapper worked properly. Okay, available rooms. So this available rooms, if you can remember, that was the output node. Okay, so that's why everything is in this output node, available rooms. Now here input, you can see it's showing blank. We are not sending any input. Okay, see all the records are here, which we saw in the data mapper. The same records are coming back. Okay, now here there is a thing we can use this in the right hand side, that debug screen. Here you can see we are saying, what is this DMA derived rooms? This is the action name. This is the data mapper extract action within our integration procedure. And that action, within that action, we can see this node available rooms. Okay. Now, you can see a lot of things are coming here. Now we, instead of watching looking at the whole JSON, what we can do, we can see here one by one. Original input is nothing. We didn't input anything, we didn't pass any input in this integration procedure. Okay, then full data JSON is that full, which we're looking at that. Now DMA derived rooms, this is that DMA derived rooms. This is that data mapper extract action within the integration procedure. Okay, so the result from there is this one. Okay, and then debug. And then an important thing, what do you want to see? Response. Now response here is 0. Now why the response is important? Because we need to get the response, then only that response we can pass from this integration procedure to that Omni script. Can you remember that Omni script we created this step, and after that we are creating this integration procedure. So basically we have to get the response from this integration procedure action, then we can show that response on the next screen, all the available rooms. Okay, so that's why it's important to get the response from that integration procedures. So how we can get that response? Okay, so first, before showing the response on the next screen in the Omni script, we should get it here in the debug screen. We should see that what response we are getting. Okay, so how we can get that? To get that, we'll go back in the integration procedure. Sorry, I didn't give it a name. Okay, now in this integration procedure, I will add one response action. So to get response, we must add one response action. Okay, now I will give it a name. What's the name of the response action? I will give it a name, available rooms rest. Okay, this is the element name. Response format, nothing. Return entire JSON out. If I click here, that means it will return the whole JSON what you saw there. Okay, I don't need the whole thing. What I need, I just need the available room. Okay, we'll show it again. So what I need here, I just need this available rooms, whatever is inside available rooms. Okay, so for that, what I have to do, this available rooms node. So whatever inside the available room node, I need that. So this node is within what? Within this action element, DM derive rooms. Okay, so I'll go back and I will use additional output. Okay, I'll write key value. So value I have to give this element name, and within that available rooms. Okay, from where we are getting the available rooms? Sorry, yeah. So from where we got the available room? From the same JSON. Here, okay, you should copy it actually so that it shouldn't be wrong. Just copy paste. But sometimes if be careful about the small letter and big letter, capital letter, because that matters here. Okay, and give it a name. You can give any name to that. I'll give the same name. So whatever name I will use here, the response will be within that node. Suppose for the time being, I'm giving it a name of ABC. Okay, and see what happens. Save, preview, execute. See, this is the thing here. Okay, input and available rooms is coming, and then response. What response we are getting? See, ABC. I gave the node name ABC, so it's coming within ABC, and these are all the values which were inside this available rooms. Okay, now if I go here and if I click on response, you can see the response, and it's coming within ABC, but I don't want it to be ABC. I want to give it same name, available rooms. Okay, because that looks nice. Available rooms. Now save and go to preview and execute. See the response. See, now the node name is available rooms. Okay, so you can give it any name, but give a meaningful name which will be useful for you, okay, to understand. So this is the thing. So now this integration procedure is completed. I have used one data mapper extract action and one response action. So now this response, whatever I got from here, what I want to do, I want to show all of these records nicely, not like this JSON format. This is nicely in a readable and user-friendly format on my Omni script. Okay, so for that, what I have done, okay, it's showing that there is no integration procedure with this name. Yeah, so I have to, what I have to do now, so that this integration procedure work properly, I have to activate that. Otherwise I will not be able to attach. Now one thing is that see type is rooms and subtypes available. Okay, so activate rooms available. So we will not be able to see this name in the Omni script. We will be able to see rooms available. Okay, how is that? This is the integration procedure and action. Ah, it's already showing rooms available IP. Okay, rooms available IP. Okay, now it's done. So now it's connected. So this, so what I did, I first created that integration procedure. Okay, then I also created already some data mapper which I used with that data mapper extract action within that integration procedure, and then I used another response action, and then I previewed it here first, and I checked whether I'm getting the correct response as I expect or not. Yes, I got as expected. Then what I did, I activated the integration procedure, saved and activated, and then I attached it here with this integration procedure action within the Omni script. Okay, so now in this integration procedure, again, I was not sending any input, so I am not like configuring any like passing input or anything here. So it's just that action, and if I had to send any input or anything, I had to use these things like send JSON path and stuff. But because I'm not sending any input here, I don't need to use. But later on, I will create some integration procedure in this project itself. There we will have to use those stuff. Okay, then I will discuss more. So now I already got it. I think it's too much for today because it's really needs to be practiced. Like how the Omnis first I created the data mapper, then I connected with the data mapper action in integration procedure, and then I connected that integration procedure with the integration procedure action within Omni script. So how the response is coming back from a data mapper to integration procedure. And now in the next stage, you see this step already I have added available rooms. Here I am going to show all those response values from integration procedure within this step inside the Omni script. Okay, and I'll just preview it. Basically, once I select start date, end date, and once I do the next, in this screen, I will be able to see all the records like available rooms, ID, type, room type, rent per day. So whatever informations I want to show, I will show here. Okay. So how I am going to do that? For that, I will use some edit block, and there you will see how those values will be uh, presented on this Omni script. Okay, so today I will finish this video here. I don't want to make it too big because in the beginning when you're new, you will really need to practice this, like how you will debug the responses, etc. So I'll leave it here now. Tomorrow I'll create another video and I'll publish. Today I'm going to publish this one first. Okay, I'll try to make one video every day, and I'll finish it up this project soon, within few days. Thank you so much if you are watching till now. uh, Thank you and for watching my video, and if you want to see some special functionality, just leave a comment. I'll make video on that. Okay, it will be my practice as well. I really believe that sharing knowledge increases knowledge. Okay, when we discuss with people, it always increases our knowledge. Thank you. Bye bye.